Imagine someone has wronged you. Maybe they betrayed your trust, humiliated you in front of friends, or took something that belonged to you. That anger boils inside you, growing bigger each day. Every time you think about it, you feel a burning desire to make them pay. That burning feeling, it's universal. Across cultures, across centuries, humans have sought revenge. But why do we do it? What is it about our minds that compels us to retaliate, sometimes even at great cost to ourselves? The answer lies deep in the dark side of human nature, a complex mix of psychology, biology, and social conditioning that has fascinated scientists and philosophers for centuries. Today, we explore why people seek revenge and what it reveals about the human psyche. Revenge is as old as humanity itself. Anthropologists have found evidence of retribution in prehistoric societies. In small communities where survival depended on cooperation, revenge served as a social regulator. If someone stole food or harmed another, retaliation was a way to restore balance and send a warning. Do not cross me. In these societies, revenge wasn't just personal, it was social. It protected families, clans, and communities. Even today, we see traces of this instinct in our justice systems. The idea of punishment, whether legal or social, is rooted in the same primal urge to balance the scales. Psychologically, revenge is tied to emotions that are hardwired into the brain. Anger, humiliation, and betrayal trigger the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing threats and fear. This activation leads to a surge of adrenaline and dopamine, the same chemicals associated with reward and pleasure. In simpler terms, retaliating against someone can literally feel good. Studies have shown that people who imagine taking revenge experience a spike in dopamine levels, creating a sense of satisfaction and closure. This is why revenge can be so addictive. The thought alone can bring a fleeting sense of power and control, even if acting on it may lead to long-term consequences. Social psychologists point out that revenge also serves a symbolic purpose. When someone hurts us, they challenge our sense of fairness and self-worth. Revenge is a way to reclaim dignity, to tell the world that we are not to be disrespected. This is why revenge is so prominent in stories, myths, and literature. Watching someone right a perceived wrong satisfies a deep-seated desire for justice, even if it skirts legal or ethical boundaries. In a sense, seeking revenge is also a way of maintaining personal identity. When someone attacks us, it threatens the way we see ourselves. Striking back restores that sense of control. However, revenge is not just about satisfaction or fairness. It's also tied to fear. Humans are acutely aware of vulnerability. Being wronged exposes us to future harm. By retaliating, we send a message not only to the offender but to potential threats in general. I will defend myself. Evolutionary psychologists argue that this fear-driven retaliation may have had survival value. In the harsh environments of early human life, failing to retaliate could invite more attacks, endangering the individual and their kin. Revenge, in this context, becomes a protective mechanism. But in modern society, where legal systems exist to enforce justice, acting on this instinct can backfire, sometimes catastrophically. The dark side of revenge emerges when it becomes obsessive. Instead of providing closure, it consumes a person. A desire for vengeance can dominate thoughts, warp decision-making, and damage relationships. Neuroscientists have found that excessive focus on revenge can change brain chemistry, keeping the amygdala constantly activated and creating a chronic stress response. The result is a cycle of anger and bitterness that harms the seeker more than the offender. In extreme cases, revenge escalates into cycles of retaliation, leading to prolonged feuds that can destroy communities, families, and even entire societies. History is full of examples. Vendettas between families, gangs, or even nations often spiral into violence far beyond the original grievance. Interestingly, not everyone is equally prone to seek revenge. Personality traits, upbringing, and cultural norms play significant roles. Some people have a higher tolerance for insult or betrayal, while others are more sensitive to perceived slights. Researchers have identified a trait called dispositional vengefulness, which describes a person's general tendency to retaliate when wronged. High vengefulness often correlates with low forgiveness, a need for control, and heightened sensitivity to injustice. Culture also matters. Societies that emphasize honor and reputation often encourage retributive behavior, while collectivist societies may promote reconciliation and harmony over personal vengeance. Forgiveness, then, becomes the counterbalance to revenge. Psychologists argue that choosing forgiveness is not just morally commendable, but psychologically liberating. Letting go of the desire for retaliation reduces stress, improves mental health, and strengthens social bonds. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the wrong or forgetting the harm. It's about reclaiming your own power without perpetuating harm. In some ways, forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-interest. It protects your well-being and allows you to move forward. Studies consistently show that people who forgive are happier, healthier, and more resilient than those who dwell on revenge. Revenge remains compelling because it taps into something primal. Even in a world governed by laws and norms, the emotional satisfaction of seeing perceived justice delivered is powerful. Media, films, and video games exploit this instinct, offering safe outlets for vicarious revenge. Revenge can also be strategic. Calculated retaliation can prevent future harm, seen in tit-for-tat strategies studied in economics and game theory. In business, politics, and international relations, the threat of retaliation can deter repeated offenses. Yet, emotion often clashes with strategy. Impulsive revenge can be destructive, while the smartest responses balance emotional drive with awareness of consequences. On a personal level, revenge reflects our vulnerabilities, fear of humiliation, insecurity, and unmet needs for fairness. It reminds us that we cannot control everything or everyone. Seeking revenge is a deeply human reaction, intense, messy, and sometimes irrational. The challenge lies in channeling that intensity constructively through communication, problem-solving, or legal and social systems that restore fairness without perpetuating harm. People seek revenge because it feels satisfying, restores control, protects against future harm, and fulfills a psychological need for justice. It exposes the darker, primal side of human nature, shaped by evolution and amplified by emotion and culture. Yet revenge rarely brings true resolution, often prolonging pain and fostering bitterness. Choosing forgiveness, personal growth, or constructive outlets for anger can break the cycle. Understanding why we seek revenge allows us to act intentionally, transforming a destructive impulse into an opportunity for empowerment and self-control. In the end, the dark side of human nature is not something to be ashamed of. It's a part of being human. What matters is how we navigate it. Recognizing the primal urges that drive us gives us the chance to choose differently, to seek justice without being consumed, and to reclaim our power without harming others. Human nature is complex, capable of both deep darkness and remarkable light. Revenge is a testament to that complexity. A reminder that our emotions are powerful forces that need to be understood, not denied. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal or the desire to strike back, you're not alone. That feeling is embedded in the human experience. But the true measure of strength is knowing when to let go, when to rise above, and when to use our energy to build rather than destroy. Take a moment to reflect. Is seeking revenge truly worth it? Or can you find a path that protects your well-being while ending the cycle of pain? If this video gave you insight into human nature and the psychology behind revenge, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with friends who might benefit from understanding the darker side of our instincts.